So good morning, everyone. Nothing better than waking up in the morning and pitching to a group of people on a Thursday morning, but can't wait to fill you guys in on what we've been up to at Cosmico. So my name is Ibrahim Farouk, and I'm the founder and CEO of Cosmico. We've been around for the past 3 to 4 years. And as a company, our mission is to kind of lead the kind of children's learning revolution and help them fall in love with learning. One of the reasons why I founded the company was growing up, I had this love-hate relationship with education. I loved learning, but I didn't really like the way I was taught. And that was mostly driven by the fact I was dyslexic. So it was a complicated start, but my love for learning never went away. Fast tracking a few years, I decided, you know what we really need is a gamified educational app that personalizes to each and every child. And that's where Cosmico came along. And ever since then, we've been on this amazing journey. And what we've achieved to date, and again, it's not the end yet, but what we have is this really great product in the market available on the iOS and Android store, which is gamified, which teaches children and adapt to the way that they like to learn. And all of this is achieved through our machine learning and AI algorithm that is always looking to tailor, adapt, learn, and get the insights into the child's learning pathway and understand where the weaknesses and the strengths are and how we can really tailor and further adapt. What have we done so far? We validated our product with over 4,000 children across 27 schools. We've been supported by professors from Brunel University. And that's really shown in our results, where we've been able to show an average of 20% increase in child learning attainment for critical subject knowledge. And the feedback was great. Over 90% of children said they'd prefer our product, and over 97% of parents said they would buy Cosmico, which was amazing and really exciting for us. Now, the problem that we're fixing is quite huge, but we're starting with a really small section. We're looking at the educational apps, and often enough, what I experience and what still is the case at the moment, it's a one-fits-all approach, which often doesn't fit anyone. And most educational apps only test pre-existing knowledge and act as digital worksheets. The solution that we have is an adaptive application that tailors to the child's education. It's gamified. And the way it's gamified, we offer all the high engaging gaming mechanics, such as allowing children to explore our Cosmico universe by building their own little planet, by going on multiplayer and doing multi-subjects, and by increasing their community and their planet and growing the little plot of land by completing educational activities. It's curriculum aligned, which is extremely important. So make sure that what the child is learning is at age-related expectation, as well as being helping the bottom line. So when they do go back into the classroom, they can see real results. And most importantly, it's accessible. It can be played anywhere, online or offline. Now, in addition to just making sure we create a product for parents, for children, it's also important that we have a solution which also meets parents' needs as well. In addition to our app on the App Store, we've also created a parent portal, which a parent can really see the ins and outs of how their child is learning. They can see all the multi-subjects that we have to offer. They can get live data, the data that we monitor and adapt to the child's learning. They can see how the child's progressing, what they're struggling with, and giving their parents a sense of understanding and connection to their child's learning as well. And this can be viewed anytime and across the range. Now, like I said, our kind of mission is to help children fall in love with learning, and we're really excited about it. And some of the results we've achieved so far, like I said, over 4,000 children across the UK have used Cosmico in 2020, over 1,500 paying subscribers, and over 10,000 downloads we've achieved. In addition to that, we've got backing from Innovate UK through grant funding. We've worked with Brunel University. We're super excited about this. We've just signed a partnership with DK, part of Penguin Random House Group, so we can offer a wide range of books to help children with the literacy and to catch up. In addition to signing with Herbert Breeder Media, so children have access to a wide range of additional content with some of the best brands out there, such as CBeebies, Lego, Girl Talk. And again, some of the feedback we've got from children, this is the best maths game and great fun. And it's really exciting for them to play because it captures in some of the best stuff that is out there. Our roadmap is, of course, multi-subject. Starting with this year, we've got 3 subjects. We've got AI tracking and multiplayer. Next year, we'll be adding 4 subjects, going internationally. We'll be going into more console-based and as well as multi-language. And in 2023, we'll be growing our subject library and going into even more additional territories, making sure that our mission of making sure children fall in love and learning, we can do it in a more exciting, more funner way while keeping parents involved. Thank you so much. My name is Ibrahim Farouk and I'm from Cosmico.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, fellas, if I rushed you a little bit, do apologize.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lazio, would you like to go first with the question? I think we've got time for about 1 or 2 questions each. If we're quick.
I'm happy to go with the questions. Is there a possible teacher portal dashboard? My question comes from the point of view that maybe you have a learning group or study group, 10 children with 2 teachers, let's say, and maybe not only a parent would be involved, but someone, an educational professional. Is there an option for that, or is it in the plans?
So at the moment, our business model is B2C. We've worked with extensive group of schools, like 27 schools across the UK. We will have a teacher portal. We have an internal teacher portal for our team, but our plans are in our timeline to work with schools and to roll this out in schools. But at the moment, our focus is making sure children at home close a learning gap that has been created by COVID-19 and making sure parents are getting good value for money and understand where the real learning gaps are and how we can support children for the time being. But it's a very good point and it's part of our roadmap in the next year or 2.
Great. And then another question. Is there a plan where outsiders could freely create content for the app? What do I mean by that is maybe, I don't know, in Hungary, someone wants to add a Hungarian history I don't know, subject to it. So make it open-ended. That's the question.
So a little bit like the Roblox metaverse. From a content production perspective, it is our aim, and part of what we're introducing now is letting children create their own worlds. But we do plan on allowing content creators such as teachers to create and to work with us and introduce their own kind of tasks and gameplay within the product. So it's not something we're looking at this present moment, but of course from a content production perspective, it is something we will be doing in the next couple of years as we go a bit more international.
It seems like a very big task to do, to have an app where someone, like people can put content in, but it would, it seems like a logical next step.
Very exciting.
Thank you. Very exciting.
Do you have a question quickly?
I have a very quick question. In terms of content and curriculum design, do you line up at the moment with the British curriculum in terms of schools, or do you have a different framework? How do you go about this?
So it's a very important question. At the moment, we align with the English and the Scottish curriculum. And of course, part of our plan is to kind of appeal to the wider international community, which also adopts the English and the Scottish curriculum as well. So that's our focus is at the moment. As we expand, we will be introducing other curriculums to put power into parents' hands. Whether you're a parent sitting in Kenya, for example, or the UK, you can pick and choose which curriculum or framework you want your child to be taught in. And part of our long-term vision is to one day have our own curriculum, which we can combine the best of everything that out there using AI and the data that we have on the most effective teaching models.
Okay, thank you very much. We're now 1 minute late, so
thank you so much.
Remove you. I thought I'd lost you. You have a 5-minute window to a presentation. If you could share your screen now, that would be fan-double-tastic.
Yeah.
It's the box at the bottom there. There you go.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good morning to everyone. Basically, I'm presenting Do Good. I'm the founder, and what we are doing is to focus on how we could basically make human value part of the capitalistic system, right? So since the society is improving in many ways, we basically realized that there are some pending issues. However, more and more people are having access to education, there is less poverty, etc. If you take a look at the consumption of antidepressants during the last 20 years, we realized that it almost or more than doubled in most of the capitalistic countries. And we basically were about to try to study what the solution could be. And that's not something new. So many researchers already proved that doing good is probably the best way to find a life of purpose. And we wanted to link this into the business world and of course educational world, where regulators and the different shareholders are urging companies to improve like the ESG metrics, but instead of thinking about people, they're thinking more about like the different positions they have in the company. So we were thinking of what would happen if we could count on everyone's help instead of just telling one guy in the company or in the university to try to help people like contribute more. So what we have created that Do Good is the people sustainability system, which basically means that we are going to be able to count on everyone's contribution in the universities, basically by telling them what they can do. We ran like a study where we were asking people, would you be happy if you could like be part of a better world? And 95% of the people said yes. So when we asked this, the next question that was, if you like, why don't you do anything? We found out that basically people want, but they find obstacles. And the three main obstacles are related to not knowing what to do and feeling lonely when trying to do something. So basically feeling useless and getting like demotivated. So what we do with universities and companies is, after understanding the priorities in terms of sustainability metrics, we create a challenges program where we basically tell people how the company can achieve or how they can be part of the company goals. So through our application, we basically send challenges to the people that can make basically an impact on the strategic goals. As you see here, if you're measuring sustainability, you can get like results or strategic results from your people, right? So it is, of course, a very like a gamified application where we are configuring the different like ways of contributing for people. We built an internal wall. There is also a ranking, and everyone has like a track record of their like daily contributions or group contributions. Depending on the priorities of the company, you can focus on water, if you can focus on carbon, but basically it's how we can count on everyone to have an impact. All right. So in the year that we have been working, we worked with the most sustainable universities, like the University in Navarra in Spain. We worked with many multinationals, and the good thing is that we are, people are really liking the product. They are contributing every day, also Sundays, Saturdays. So it seems that we cracked like the way that we can make people feel part of this. Now we are basically preparing for the growth phase to make this sustainable human behavior part of the daily basis of everyone and not just of the sustainability manager. Basically, 76% of the people that have been through one of our programs affirmed that implementing this that they have implemented new sustainable habits in their routines. And of course, winning this competition would mean that we can keep like running in this space of getting as much impact as possible.
5 minutes done. Right. I'll go to Aurelie for a question here.
Well, Just a question. So you said you've got quite a number of clients, 14 clients with over 25k users. How have you kind of measured their usage so far? Are these people actively using the app every day? You know, what's the impact so far?
Yeah, so when we send these challenges to everyone, and when they are done, it gets like published in the internal wall, and automatically we calculate the impact of these challenges. So we have real-time graphs where we see like how people and programs are performing. And basically in universities, we realized that the average was about 80% of people participating, which is huge. While in companies, you got like maybe 40%, which is still like huge compared to other initiatives that they run.
Do you think that initiative has helped during the COVID crisis, getting people together? Do you have any impact studies on that?
Yeah, actually, that was a good point for us, because in the end, we are trying to bring like sustainable habits into the daily routines, and this was not like only. I mean, you can do things at home. You don't need to be at the street to do things, right? And also, when people were at home, it was a good way of bringing them together in an internal wall where they were like seeing what their colleagues were doing, etc.
Okay, thank you, Ignacio. I'm going to put you out of the remove you. We are going to go to Julian next. Welcome, Julian.
Hello, hi, David.
It's 10:02. You have 5 minutes.
Right, I'll share the screen. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this presentation about Endoxa learning. Improving people's critical thinking skills has a direct impact on their performance, not only in education, but also in the workplace. We would all like students to finish school with robust critical thinking skills, but this isn't the case. Critical thinking skills are lacking amongst students. Our solution is called Endoxa Learning. I'm going to talk about the product, its impacts, and the traction we have. Argumentation is the focal point for critical thinking. This means creating, analyzing, and evaluating arguments, which are normally expressed in prose. The issue is that prose is not the optimal way of representing arguments. You cannot look at prose and see how an argument works. Prose makes no distinction between the sentences which are part of the argument and those which do other things, such as supporting facts in context. So argumentative prose imposes a very high cognitive load on the student. Endoxa Learning visualizes arguments in a diagram called an argument graph. Here you see one step of an argument. Here are several steps of an argument. You see the structure of the diagram is the structure of the argument. Facts and context do not clutter the diagram, but are available by clicking buttons. There's a wealth of academic research that supports this approach. Endoxa Learning is not just a drawing package to analyze arguments. Rather, students learn a subject by going through key arguments step by step. They then modify the argument graph with their own ideas. The system is like a library of textbooks covering the secondary school curriculum. This is a new way of teaching a subject, not a separate course in critical thinking requiring extra lessons to be timetabled. Now we'll look at the impacts of improving critical thinking. Critical thinking, complex problem solving, and creativity were identified as the three most important 21st century work skills by the World Economic Forum. These are the how not to be replaced by a robot skills. The US founding father Fisher Ames was pessimistic about democracy, and he wasn't entirely wrong. Without critical thinking skills, citizens will vote for populism, with disastrous results. Probably critical thinking is required to solve all of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. However, Goal 16, peace and justice, is particularly important. In the end, we either reason together or we fight amongst ourselves. And the prerequisite for reasoning is critical thinking. Let's look at the traction we've already achieved. We have a working MVP. We have 6 complete KS3 and A-level courses. We have automated quizzes and thinking tests which measure students' progress while saving teacher time. In the future, analytics will enable the individualization of learning for each student. Machine learning for automation of routine tasks will allow teachers to concentrate on coaching higher order skills. And we're now supporting the research for 2 papers, which should be published next year. This is what we're looking for from the SuperConnect process. Our goals are to find mentors who have experience with EdTech, partners for pilots, and investors. In summary, critical thinking skills are important for academic success and for the 21st century workplace. They're also vital for a functioning democracy. Our product builds critical thinking into the learning process and will help prepare students for the future. Thank you for listening, and I'll be happy to take questions.
Lazio, would you take a quick question?
Yeah. A great presentation, Julian.
Thank you.
My main question would be about, so the product is aimed in relations between teachers and students. So this is more of a B2C product.
This is, it's software, teacher, student. So
okay.
Yeah.
And is this on my phone?
No, it's this is desktop, laptop.
Desktop, okay. And is this already available?
Yes, it is. We've been testing in schools, and I'm trying to get more schools into pilots right now.
But this is not web-based, which I can. This is not web-based. So can I type in www.endoxa.uk or?
Yes, you can. It's a web app.
Okay.
So you can find it like that.
Okay, that's my question. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Aurelie, do you want a quick question?
Yeah, just a question regarding, it seems a lot of graphics in the way of the process, the way demonstrated. Does the software looks like that, the web app, or I'm only asking in terms of accessibility. So if students need like screen readers, etc., how's that being considered?
Yeah, accessibility is really interesting. So if you think of people who have reading difficulties, dyslexia and so forth, we massively reduce the amount of text you need to read through to understand an argument. It's over 90% less. So that's a win. We've also been careful with colors. Avoiding color blindness, red, green, and so forth. Screen readers is on the roadmap. So currently it doesn't work with screen readers, but we have to fix that in the future. And the other thing would be supporting audio as well. So so a screen reader, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Right, thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
Remove you. And we have our next speaker. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay, excellent, go for it. The timing's very quick.
So I hope you can see my screen and you can hear me. Can I get confirmation?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you.
Oh, okay, thank you. So, hi everyone. We all are actually born scientists with endless curiosity. And if you have spent time with young children, you actually know that they ask a lot of questions. But how should we answer those questions without making kids feel that science is too difficult or boring? Your first reaction might be to go to Google, but there is a better way. Kide Science supports scientific thinking skills in early childhood education through play. So we have a web-based platform for teachers. We are taking a bottoms-up approach to a problem that pollutes the whole world: lack of scientific literacy and critical thinking skills. We've seen the impacts: a global pandemic, climate change, and the rise of fake news, and pseudoscience grow worse by the day. Because these skills are lacking, not just in the general population, but with many world leaders. Research says that scientific thinking needs to be introduced for children already in their early years to build the foundation for learning and critical thinking skills. We need to start earlier. Even 90% of brain development happens before the age of 5, yet we don't often think about introducing science this early. Or if we want to, even the teachers struggle without any science background, and they do not know how to do it playfully without killing the child's curiosity. Our innovation is not our tech platform. It is the engaging pedagogical model with years of academic research done by our founders in the University of Helsinki. Research has shown that the earlier we can show children how to find a scientific identity, the better the learning outcomes are. This does not mean teaching facts, but teaching science process skills for the unknown future. Children do love play and stories, and this is shown in how they learn. The Kide Science pedagogy empowers teachers and children to explore solutions to problems, which always comes through a story from a fantasy world where everything is possible. We have already seen how the children love to solve our problems with our characters and want to become scientists after our lessons. When we teach through phenomenon, one Kide Science lesson can have all these STEAM subjects: science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We have also seen how teachers turn to they know nothing about science to an amazingly fun and engaging lessons with children. We also save teachers time by giving them all the resources they need through our online platform, with the guarantee that these lesson plans will make your children love science. We cannot talk about where Kide Science is now without talking about where we started. What became Kide Science was founded from the doctorate research, and after years of research, we needed to start the business because of the huge demand. We even did a TV show and book series in Finland, reaching all the families. Since then, we have scaled all over Finland with private and public sector daycares and have paying customers from 30 countries. We just started also with the UK's biggest franchise nursery chain and one of the world's biggest private school chains. We have been able to accomplish this all because we move quickly. When COVID happened, we made our product remote friendly as more and more education moved out from the classroom into the home. We even did a cooperation with TCL, and we have our free trial there in their 1 million kids tablet distributed into 15 countries. There are over 800 million children between the ages of 3 and 8 who need more engaging science education, and we try to make this possible also through different partnerships. So now we are looking for more teachers, parents, partners who need quality guidance to inspire young kids about science. You can try it also free from our website in Finnish, English, or Chinese and start the engaging science adventure today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was good. I was slightly earlier. Lazio, would you like to go first?
Yeah, silly question, but why Chinese? Is the market so big over there that it was worth to have that as the second or third language?
I heard your question about the China market, and I have to say that there was a huge demand from Chinese customers, and we started actually with quite big learning center chains. So yes, but that's not in our focus. So we did make everything in Chinese, and we are also all over the Asia where the Chinese has helped us, but not our focus market.
Understood.
I have a question, if I may. What's your roadmap on your products?
Yeah, so the product roadmap is more or less that we actually 2 weeks ago launched our new platform, which is more suitable for also homeschool parents, meaning that you don't need to be an educated teacher to do Kide Science at home with the children. So it's now more suitable for both for teachers and homeschool parents.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I'm going to say goodbye to you now, and we've now got John. Welcome, John.
Hi there. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Fantastic.
Share your
Tremendous.
screen, please.
Yep, absolutely.
I'll make it 10:16, so you've got 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem at all. And why has my thing decided? There we go. And you can see that okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, so hi, I'm John McHugh, Commercial Director of Click to Learn. Click to Learn is an EdTech that delivers English as a service from Scotland to learners all over the world. Our digital English learning platform is used by individuals, colleges, governments, and NGOs. But unlike many translation apps that are merely lifestyling, Click to Learn is truly life-changing for our learners. Let me show you how. Here in the UK, we're helping to support asylum seekers, refugees, and the recent 15,000 Afghan resettlers. Every day we're seeking to help. In India, we're running 2 CSR projects in partnership with an NGO in Gujarat and a charity in Mumbai. Meet Mohammed from London, an adult learner who can now speak English and integrate into his local community. He's proud of the City and Guild certificate he earned, and he can now show his employers his English language skills, all achieved through self-study online with Click to Learn. Here's incredible Artie in Mumbai, working with girls from the slums who cannot go to school. Artie provides a safe space for the girls to learn using Click to Learn. They're gaining English and digital skills to give them a life chance. Thanks to our digital learner reports, we can show individuals areas they need to work on, tutors areas for reinforcement, and crucially, we can show sponsors that from as little as 10 pence per learner per month, we can truly change lives. We've grown organically as an EdTech over the past 10 years. We focused on substance long before the buzzwords and the jargon. In that time, we've built incredible English learning tools, from pre-beginner English to advanced English testing and certification. We've secured some incredible customers, from some of the UK's largest colleges to individuals in some of the world's poorest slums. We've turned our customers into partners. We've helped colleges and local authorities deliver English learning throughout a pandemic. And we've improved our IP throughout. We're so proud of the recognition that we've gained from the British Council, the College Development Network, and the IP 100. But we don't stop here. Now it's time for us to scale. And we have big, audacious goals for scale. We aim to build the greatest social mobility tool in the world. Phase 1 completed, our journey to date, the creation of a digital learning hub and a suite of digital English courses, an all-in-one solution for individuals, colleges and governments. And thanks to our pedagogy approach, it doesn't matter how little English you know, nor what your starting language is. With Click to Learn, you will learn English, master English within a matter of months, guaranteed. Phase 2, we know that English alone isn't enough. Our learners also need to be confident speaking English and practice regularly. That's why we developed ProTalk, an AI-powered pronunciation app to help people who struggle with accent to improve their spoken word. We want to build confidence through fluency. We want to improve life chances. And phase 3, we aim to close the employment gap. It's now all about our empowered, confident learners. What is their life goal, their dream career, their perfect job? We'll use our AI tools to help them decide, vocational courses to help them gain career skills, interactive mock interviews that help them practice, and finally, partnerships with employers to provide jobs. What are we building again? A talent pool of motivated, English proficient, confident professionals. We would love to win this competition. For Click to Learn, it would mean the opportunity to meet new customers and investors, and to help us deliver English as a service to the world. For our learners, if we can scale, we can improve more lives. We can empower billions of people. We want you to be part of this journey. We welcome your vote, your custom, your investment in Click to Learn. And there has never been a better time to invest in EdTech. 2021 was a record year with over $13 billion of investment. And we are confident that if we can raise investment, we can scale and change lives. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Lazio, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'm very happy to do so. So phase 2, the AI aided pronunciation. Can I imagine this as I hold my phone,
Yes.
and an AI bot communicates with me, how was your day? And I answer, and then maybe it corrects me?
Well, that may be a future extension of it. To give you a very quick, kind of explanation. So this was developed by our CEO approximately 5 years ago. And really what this does is we take a number of words in the English language and we help our learners to then be able to speak into their phone, and our AI powered tool effectively sees where their stresses are incorrect, where the pronunciation is incorrect, and then it plays it back to them.
Oh, okay.
Asks them to do it again and again and again.
Great.
We have that in beta right now, Laszlo, and our what we did in beta was we covered a number of words, too many words. Now, by taking this concept to market, we found that the market has said we don't need every word in the English language. We just need to reduce the scope, gamify it, and that gives us our scope, our new refined scope. So that's where we are with the with ProTalk, Laszlo.
Thank you. Great. Understood.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to move on to Manish now. Thank you, John.
No problem.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Just doing a sound check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. What I will have to share the screen first, right?
Yes, there's the little button at the bottom there. Hey, right. 10:24, you've got 5 minutes.
Thanks, David. Good morning, everyone. Let me start my presentation today with a very famous quote. Every child is born a genius. But is this true? Turns out it may be true if you believe modern neuroscience, which says that most children actually have significant potential so long as we get it right with them in the early years by giving them the right ecosystem for development. What does it mean? Actually, most of the human brain development takes place outside mother's womb. And that gives us an opportunity to augment nature with nurture. And again, to reinforce, if you get the right developmental environment to the child, every child can have an immense potential. And that is why you have this $500 billion global industry around early childhood care and education. Seldom does it happen that most of the stakeholders are so aligned towards a particular cause. Government, not-for-profits, parents, everybody is committed to this. There is Nobel Prize winning research by economist James Heckman, which supports the argument. And there's so much of money that flows into this space. But still, something seems to be broken. And I take one lead indicator here, and there are a couple, which is the reading proficiency in the early years. So let's say grade 2 to grade 4, and let alone the developing countries where the situation is worse. Even in the developed markets, significant percentage of children are not able to read at the required level, and that is just one lead indicator. And why is that? Perhaps one of the important reasons behind this is, in the detail. So if you break down this whole early years gamut, and there are 4 segments in it. There is pre-nursery care, and then post-nursery care, and then pre-nursery education, the post-nursery education. And turns out that pre-nursery education, which is 0 to 3 education, is a complete blind spot. We just assume that parents are very much capable of doing this, and we leave them alone with very little or no support. And that does not work. And we are actually failing our parents and failing our children. what parents today need is actually a home native complete solution, which is effortless for them, which is structured, and that they can use in a fun manner with their children. And we have created that. We call it Babler Early Learning. It's a radical innovation that we have developed with some discerning parents, in partnership with discerning parents. So if you are a parent of a newborn, a 0 to 3-year-old child, we will give you a digital platform for you, an algorithm. So when you put the details of your child every day based on the age and the progress of the baby, the algorithm will recommend 8 to 10 activities that you can do. To do those activities, you will either use materials from exciting big play material box that we give you, or some household materials. And then we also give you a lot of cool digital tools, which make it completely effortless and fun for you. So all we need is a little time every day. And you can make the most of this very precious cognitive development window of your child in 0 to 3. We've already launched it in India. We have seen some great traction there. There are parents using it by paying 150 pounds plus every year. And what's more important is that 9 out of 10 parents who have used this product for more than 6 months, they confirm that this has made a significant difference to their child. And so we have happy children, happy parents. Receiving a Babler box is an occasion in the family. And we are ready. All the feedback that we've collected in India, we are ready with our global product, which is very scalable. It's MVP +2 level at least, and which is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to launch our global product by end of this year. And so far, the company has been running on the funding that I had given. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I invested $1 million. And we would look at some fundraising after our global launch in early next year. We were confident that we will achieve $1 billion valuation outcome by 2028 with 300,000 global users. I'm supported by a great team. I have a co-founder, Aziz, who runs our Indian business, and Vidut, who herself used some of these tools and methods with her own child a few years ago very successfully. And my background is, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I had a successful exit a couple of years ago, and that's when I started this. But what we are all most excited about is our purpose. Look, our children today are going to grow in a very, very different world, full of challenges, new technologies, artificial intelligence, climate change. We owe it to them to help them develop brain capacities. And some earlier speakers talked about the requirement of the future so that they are future-proof. But not only that, but they're able to solve problems that we're not able to solve today. Thank you very much. I'm open for questions.
Okay, let's go for Aurelie first.
Yeah, just a question around a kind of pre-research and background research. Have you taken part in the academic research regarding the brain science from 0 to 3? There's quite a lot out there.
Yes.
So
yes. So both secondary and primary. So we started with secondary research from Harvard and Yale, and there's a ton of stuff out there. There's so much public funding that goes into this, and there's some really cutting edge tier 1 research available. So it's all free research available. We made full use of it, but then we also did a lot of primary research. In fact, we used a method called participative design to develop this product. We worked with a cohort of parents to do this. And of course, Vidut, as I mentioned, one of the founding team members, she actually used these methods with her child, who I argue is a prodigy, but she's very humble. She says she's not a prodigy. So.
Right.
Thank you.
I think we'll leave that. That's your okay, thank you, Manish.
Thank you, Manish, and good luck.
I'm looking for Graham. I can't see a Graham at the moment. I can't see a Renz as well, but I can see a Pete. So, no, Graham's come back. Graham's in there. Look at these. There you go. Just in time, Graham. Hi there, Graham.
Perfect. You can see this?
Yep.
Great. Okay. So, hi. Did you know up to 20% of people in education are dyslexic? I'm a person with dyslexia. My name is Graham Brocklebank, and I'm the founder and CEO of Peer, an assistive technology that supports reading, writing, and spelling for people with dyslexia in education. So as dyslexia is the most common learning disability in the world, the market size for a product like ours is massive, with over 33 million people in the Western world with dyslexia. It's important to remember dyslexia is a lifelong neurological condition, and what we're offering is to to address their short-term needs of the person with dyslexia. The consequences of addressing the person's short-term needs with dyslexia can have a significant long-term impact throughout their lives. 40% of drug and alcoholics within Ireland and the UK are dyslexic. Students with dyslexia are twice as likely to drop out of education, have lower self-esteem, and then the lack of critical supports. Over 90% of teachers say they have got no pre-service training to spot dyslexia in the classroom, and then lack critical supports to support the student in the classroom. And unfortunately, this all leads to the worst possible outcome for the student, which is really, really high rates of depression and even higher rates of suicide amongst people with dyslexia. So dyslexia isn't just an issue within Ireland or the UK or Northern Ireland or Scotland or Wales. It's actually a worldwide third or first world country issue. So the problems that are, not only are there social problems that we just addressed, but there's also the other three issues facing the person with dyslexia right now in the classroom is accessibility, reading, and spelling and grammar. They can't get access to their notes. They have difficulty reading their notes. When they're asked to communicate what they've learned, they have difficulty communicating what they've learned. Which then also on top of that, you have parents and teachers have very, very limited time and resources to do with either classroom sizes or with parents working as well. And then on top of that as well, with people being twice likely to drop out because of the supports they haven't got. So what does Peer do? So Peer is a specialized EdTech product that supports people with dyslexia. We address the short-term needs of the person with dyslexia. We're B2B with universities, primary schools, and primary schools and secondary schools, and B2C with parents of children with dyslexia. And we're delivered via website and mobile application. Short-term Peer gigs is short-term we give to students their own private workspace that uses text-to-speech and speech-to-text to help them with their reading and then also their writing. Think Dropbox for dyslexic people. We're fully GDPR compliant and abide by all UK and Irish and EU GDPR rules. So right now we've actually launched our product and we're right in the middle of doing a massive pilot within University College London with over 100 students and staff. We're actually extending this pilot out into 2 other universities within the UK, and we've also extended this to University College Dublin in UCD in Dublin to over 20 customers, and we're looking to expand that even further. In the coming months, we're doing our seed round beginning in October, and then after that, we have a big, huge, massive update that we're going to be launching before the end of next semester. University College London will help us building our onboarding process. So essentially what we found from our customers' point of view, not the user's point of view, is that their biggest issue is that when they actually have users to sign up, they have to manage the users. So we're actually working with the universities to build an onboarding process that works for them and helps them manage time and save resources. For likes of providing training inside our product, will save 3 hours per student per year. And if you for likes of that will save over 300 hours for University College London, which will save anywhere from £8,000 to £10,000 a year. As I said, the market size is huge. Dyslexia is the most common learning disability in the world, but we're not targeting every single person with dyslexia. We're targeting people like myself who are severely dyslexic, the 5% of all people in education. So our initial market size, our initial cerebral 10-1 market within Ireland and the UK is about 3.6 million. And we can get this, we're looking to get this within the next 2 to 3 years. So I'm not alone doing this, thankfully. As I said, I am a person with dyslexia, but I also have a first-class honours degree in computer science. I've been on the New Frontiers program, EIT Health program, and I've been awarded 4 awards, including Social Entrepreneurship and Enterprise and Business Excellence. Along with me is Mark Swinton, who's a 12-year chartered accountant, and Gary Malik, who I met during the New Frontiers program, who was our lead developer. We do have gaps in our team. We need more developers. We need a better sales team, and we're going to outsource our HR. But in the short term, we've got a really, really good team of advisors, the likes of Susan McCarthy, who is head in the National Learn Network and is an educational psychologist. So she'll be an expert in dyslexia. Dr. Anu Shahini is our technical advisor, and she's head of data analytics in NCI. And then we have 2 seasoned entrepreneurs that actually are helping us with our business and strategy, Sean Murray and Patrick Barry, who have successfully exited their own companies and have actually re-raised money or started up second startups themselves. Just to go over what we're looking for. So out of this, we're actually looking to kind of build our sort of profile so we can start building, we can start going towards our seed round next month. Dyslexia is a massive unmet need, and we're targeting specifically the 5% of all people with dyslexia in education. And in the coming months, well, this time next year, there's going to be a massive update for our product.
Thank you, Graham.
Thank you.
Lazio, would you like to go first?
Actually, this time I don't have a question.
Okay.
It was quite clear.
Okay.
I'm fine.
I've got a couple.
Okay, Aria. Sorry.
So very, very quickly, you said you have a bunch of features coming out in June. So, so what are they like? Key features? What are they? What are they doing differently?
So, so one of the things we're kind of updating is the onboarding process for the students and for the admin side, and that's like one of the big things in England and Ireland, is that the management of trying to hold, if you have 150 students using the product, trying to manage to make sure they can go on top of that. A part of what our product does is we're actually in the AI for good part as well, because we're using AI to actually track and measure the student engagement in education. And from our kind of initial aspect of it, we're actually able to show if a student is potentially falling off that level in education or falling out of education. So we're actually working with UCL on developing that. So that will be a really good indicator for universities that if a student's becoming disengaged with education, and then they can actually provide support, because that's what they provide is the disability support officers. They support students through education. So apart from product, although we help people with dyslexia, we can actually give warning signs if there's someone's starting to fall out of education.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Graham.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Good luck.
Have a great day.
Pete, I can see you're more than just a Pete.
Yeah, hi David.
Oh,
just to let you know, there's a small technical hitch with the video. It'll be on and off a little bit, but we are here.
Can you share your screen? Are you going to share your presentation? Okay, let's go for that. The time is now 10:39. You have 5 minutes.
Persona is the only online social emotional learning platform for schools and colleges with a personality insights approach at its heart. We are a Bristol-based Innovate UK funded startup on a mission to boost the well-being and success of young people globally. Hi, I'm Dr. Layla Kujar-Walker, co-founder of Persona Education and the company's chief product officer.
Hello, I'm Pete Reed, co-founder and CEO. I'll say more later, but first Layla's going to tell you what Persona is all about.
A major global OECD report published this month confirmed previous research showing 15-year-olds reporting significantly lower social emotional skills than 10-year-olds. And this fall in well-being results in less agency and purpose, lower academic attainment, and poorer employability. COVID-19 has made this even worse, and well-being is now rightly at the top of the agenda for schools, according to research by Young Minds. So change is clearly needed. That's why we developed a theory of change to buck this disturbing global trend through a new approach. Our pedagogy starts by preparing students for social emotional learning, by discovering their own mix of personality styles. As Aristotle said in 300 BC, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Research by the Centre of Education and Youth shows a causal link between developing social emotional life skills such as self-awareness and resilience and improved well-being. Using our online platform, Persona Life Skills, students learn life skills that help them adapt their thinking, communication, and behaviour to achieve more positive outcomes in social, learning, and work situations. So, for example, up to 50% less antisocial behaviour, 10 to 20% higher GCSE results, and 1/3 less job hopping. Persona Life Skills works just as well in remote learning as in the classroom, important in this post-pandemic age of blended learning. It's designed to help schools address the lack of specialist SEL and PSHE teachers, limited curriculum time and teacher workload. Our curriculum maps to Ofsted and similar benchmarks in other countries, and schools can track impact in their dashboard. We already have 2 years' worth of learning content with more in the pipeline, and we'll soon be introducing digital skills certificates so students can share their achievements with potential employers. Now I'm going to hand over to Pete to tell you more about our market and what we've achieved so far.
Thanks, Layla. The market potential for Persona Life Skills is huge. It costs between £9 and £15 per student per year in the UK, which means our potential market here is £50 million. And it's over 10 times that in India, even at a much lower price point. Globally, the addressable subscription market is worth £1.2 billion. On top of that subscription revenue, we're already working on an API licensing partnership approach with several other student apps. Our third revenue pillar is corporate sponsorship. We've recently agreed our first deal with the IT company Celerius. Persona is the first to market with a disruptive product at a critical moment for social emotional learning and well-being. Our product is highly scalable, it's 100% online and easy to adopt. Persona is unique. Unlike other life skills players, it's the only solution built around personality insights. And unlike other personality insights players, Persona is specifically designed for the education sector. We proved the market need in the UK initially, and we now have schools from all around the world signing up. So far, 130 schools from 20 countries have registered to use Persona Life Skills with 33,000 students. And the feedback has been really encouraging, with 86% of students reporting they learned how to improve the targeted life skills. I'm privileged to be part of a fantastic, experienced group of people. Persona's core team is diverse, 80% female and 4 different ethnicities. We also have a carefully selected advisory panel, including educators, business and tech advisors, and of course, students. We're on track with our rollout plan. We won an Innovate UK R&D grant in 2020, which enabled us to develop and launch our app in November. The second Innovate grant took us through to the release of our version 2.0 app in April this year with a state-of-the-art personality insights algorithm. And in July, we released a free version, and we're now focused on customer onboarding and building revenues. We're currently raising a £500,000 seed round, and winning the Super Connect for Good EdTech category would be a transformational moment for us. We would hope to meet investors to help us convert all that potential I've been talking about into a sustainable business. We would also look for sponsor introductions. For example, this product is ideal for a company like Hayes to sponsor because it's all about workplace readiness. Finally, getting to know other EdTech apps as potential API partners, helping to spread the benefits of personality insights to their users. And that's the most important thing. For us, it really is about our mission of helping young people all around the world to boost their well-being and employability. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Yes, well done. You kept to time, which is always good at this sort of junction. Do we have any questions from the other judges, please?
Yeah, just a very quick one. So do I understand it right that this application is specifically aimed at people between 10 and 18 or like a younger demographic?
Yeah, it's 13 to 19, so the teenagers.
13 to 19.
We're trying to guide teenagers through the life challenges that they're all facing during that sort of 5-6 year period.
Understood. And this app only has a portal view for myself, so no teacher or no parent is involved. It's only for the user.
No, it's actually designed to be quite flexible. So we have a set of modules that are teacher facilitated, which are around 60 minutes each, and then we have a second set of modules which are around 20 minutes each, which can be taken by the student in independent learning, or they can also be teacher facilitated if the teacher wants to do that.
Okay, understood. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, thank you, Pete. I will say goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Good morning, Ren. The time is 10:46. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, so let me start by thanking everybody for dialing in and being here. So my pitch is about KIMO. KIMO is a Dutch AI company focused on personalized learning. We're 2 years old. We have investors, so that's not my final request. But let me try to explain what we're building. So I think for this panel, this is a clear story, right? So there's a large chunk of the workforce that needs reskilling or upskilling, technically learning new skills, and a big part of that is in the digital domain. So learning new digital skills, AI, blockchain, fintech kind of stuff. The insight to start with is that the current best solutions, at least what we perceive as the best solutions, the big EdTech players, Coursera, Udemy, edX, mostly are in the US, but they have a bigger problem, except not being European, right? So The bigger issue is that they sell one standardized format, which is MOOCs, massive open online courses. But if you bluntly ask people on the street, so do you learn online? The answer is yes, 95% of the time. But how do you prefer to learn online? Then suddenly MOOCs drops down to less relevant categories. Only 14% of people like MOOCs as a preferred way of learning. Why? Because there's a lot of other ways, right? You can go to YouTube, there's articles on Medium, there's Google to ask questions to, there's podcasts. So it's not necessarily the preferred way of doing it. And once people get into MOOCs, then only 95% of people drop out, right? So only 5% make the finish line. A bit behind the surface or underneath the waterline. So why is this the case? The bigger issues here are not that you cannot find content, but they're about direction, about guidance, about engagement. You know, if you're no longer in school, then time is limited. So there's a lot of stuff competing for your attention. It's about time. It's about self-esteem and efficacy. Like, do you feel your that your self-esteem is sort of kept intact? New learning is a bit painful, I think, for adults. And the direct applicability to work. So is it directly relevant for me? So this is the situation. The challenge is huge. The current best solution, we feel, needs an upgrade. And that upgrade, of course, is personalized learning. So here's what KIMO does. KIMO, the whole engine that we build is focused on getting people exactly the right kind of experience to personalize learning for every step of the way. Part of that is having all the content on the web available in one place, right? So whether those are podcasts or videos or articles or scientific papers or even cheat sheets that people make, everything should be in one place, cross-content in any price point. The second big thing is that you personalize this based on the job someone is actually looking to achieve. So not a certificate or a badge, but an actual better life. And the way we do that is in this way. It's going to look a little bit complex, but I'll talk you through what you're going to see. So it's an AI system that recognizes skills inside of jobs. For example, this job is a front-end developer. And this is what KIMO would say at this point in time, that job represents in a specific market, right? The UK or the Netherlands or India. So for every job, we know the skills underneath. It's real time, it's automated, it's near free, the calculation. And we can know the starting point of the journey as well as the end point of the journey. We know the salary gaps as well. So is this worthwhile doing? We know the automation risk as well. So is it better? Are you safer in your future job than in your current job? And of course, the skill gap, right? So what skills are missing if you want to make this journey from A to B? So that is the part of the personalization process. Next, of course, to having preferences of the person, right? Maybe someone likes videos or podcasts, studies at 8 in the morning or at 10 at night. But that's the game we're in, and that's how the engine works. The fun part underneath, of course, and this is where the competitive positioning comes in, is that this way, with all these different content types that we have, gives you instantly millions of items, from books to cheat sheets, courses, etc. And you build up a data advantage over time where you actually understand how people learn online. You know, and of course, if you only sell one of these, like MOOCs, you would only know what people do inside your MOOC, but you don't actually know the full range of behavior. So this way is more like a Google or an Amazon kind of engine where you fully understand how people learn online. And we think this is the way to bring it to emerging economies, right? Because this is the way where people can study for free in any domain that they like. Final note, learning platforms today, if you listen to the feedback, people think they are boring. They're not engaging, they look old school, a lot of these kind of comments. So this is the way it looks. It's already in the App Store, iOS and Android. So what we're trying to do here is to make this more future-proof, make it more engaging, make it more social, make it more real-time. So this is the way that I think we are going to reach, hopefully next year, 5 million people, starting in Asia, big focus on India. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Rens. That's an interesting... Lazio looks like he would like to ask this question.
No, thank you.
Okay. All right.
I do have a couple of questions. Obviously, so you said things around learning for free, etc. So how do you sell your platform? And where do you get the income from?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think to recognize is that most stuff online is free, right? So of course, if you sell a book or a MOOC, that is paid content, but in reality, 98% or so of the stuff is free. The way we monetize is by having, there's a couple of ways actually, but connecting people to mentors probably, but also some items are paid, like a book from Packet or O'Reilly would be paid content. We can't offer it for free. We're not even allowed to. So there we get a margin of that paid content. And we're exploring, of course, to build this premium group of users, which is probably 1 or 2%, like in Duolingo, where people pay €3 a month in India, and then they're part of the community with mentors, with expert live sessions, this kind of stuff. So a premium tier and some in-app purchases that people can do.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Renz. I wish you well. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Yaz. You're the last one. We're a few minutes late, so you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I'm really honoured to be here today. Very excited to share our story to date. Can you all hear me and see my screen?
Yeah.
I don't want to share that.
Yes.
I just want to present it.
There you go. That's brilliant.
Is that all good? Excellent. So my name's Yaz El-Hakim. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Verify Ed. We were founded in 2019. We're very grateful to work with partners to create revenue in 2019. And have been working ever since to spread the impact and benefits of blockchain credentials. We wanted to combine the power of blockchain with education around digital certification and micro-credentials, which are growing everywhere with lots of different types of learning providers as well as universities. We're seeing great take-up with boot camps and learning pathways, micro-credentials, short courses, CPD. There are an array of places where people learn. It's not just in one institution where you then do a 30-year career. And we wanted to be able to aggregate all of that learning into one location, into one lifelong learning ledger that follows you through your life. The benefit in being able to do so means that we can then identify the brightest talent and the most voracious learners and the people who we want to be able to point at the world's biggest problems, but also some of the biggest opportunities and job opportunities, which would be able to change elements of society and help us progress as we develop. We ultimately wanted to take something that was paper and take it to the digital because the paper is purely reputationally based. We wanted to add the skills data behind it, which isn't mapped for many of the educational experiences traditionally. And we wanted to create something that got to a place of carbon neutrality. So posting certificates around the world is a game that I think people are going to start rowing back from very quickly. And to get the granular data of the skills is really important motivation. We also know that it's quite costly. So fraud with paper means that it's increasing globally, the ability for people to replicate certificates. However, the cost of actually issuing digital could create a significant saving, as well as employers and recruiters having to verify degrees, which can cost £12 to verify a UK degree at the minute, resulting in quite significant costs each year. This creates, our platform creates a triangle of trust, a single source of truth, if you will, where the awarding body issues a blockchain-backed credential for the learner who can then choose to share it with anyone for free to instantly verify at the point of access, thanks to blockchain guaranteeing its authenticity and validity. We have lots of partners who are innovative and looking to the future with us. We're very pleased to be able to share some of those stories today. University of Middlesex looking to recognise not only the academic curriculum, but some of the achievements that are extracurricular and actually mapping some of those skills and soft skills actually that were just being presented by Renz to employers in a way that makes the students better articulate their skills and the employers better understand where the skills have come from. The Law Society of Ireland automating their CPD issuance and looking to create CPD from multiple training providers in one lifelong learning ledger across their professional body. And the World Bank asking us to aggregate in partnership with FutureLearn and IBM micro-credentials from their computer science areas for students across some of the African centres of excellence, working with the World Bank to then look at employment opportunities through recruitment organisations via the German International Department for Development, the GIZ. So 3 phenomenal opportunities where we often talk about some of the benefits that are existing. But what we wanted to focus on was the student benefits initially. gaining clear recognition for the individual students, and something that isn't just at one point of graduation but can grow through it. So Middlesex particularly interested in that lifelong ledger growing over the time that the student is with them from their very first year. Enjoying the ability for people to trust your qualifications, not questioning where's this come from, is it real, and the ability for all of that learning to be aggregated across your life. But also for the institution, showing that visibility of value for money where they've made an investment, but it's a very physical experience, well, a digital experience that can be experienced physically. Enhancing and surfacing that employability and the skills behind it, where we actually start mapping credentials as they come in with the skills behind them, so we can create a skills profile, and also allowing people to share with security and confidence their credentials online to celebrate their achievements. Ultimately, everyone wants to reduce costs, and automating something that reduces your costs and saves time as well as money is one of the key things we want to do. The ultimate point that we've got to at this stage is actually to say that we wanted to take what we've done so far in our journey, say where we've seen a 220% increase in revenue from our very first year trading to our second year working with significantly more partners. And so far today is 2 months into our third financial year, and we're agreeing terms with a contract that will actually exceed our last year's revenue. So we're on a very exciting journey, and our team's growing and becoming even more expert in the space. But it's really important to stress that we're the only provider that we see ourselves issuing blockchain as standard on the credentials, and the ability for that blockchain to be pre-mined, and therefore looking for carbon neutrality, not just going, we can attach a transaction from Bitcoin, etc., which is very costly and energy inefficient.
Okay, yes.
That's our end. Thank you very much.
Do we have any questions from the judges?
Yeah, I do, if that's okay. So as far as I can understand, this is about the kind of endpoint where you've got a certification to communicate that art. Do you also integrate with, let's say, university systems where they might need an accreditation for multiple modules, where you could, kind of compound that and make it a digital certificate?
100%. So what you're describing, I think, is stackable credentials, and it's something that many universities are both looking at how their degrees could become stackable credentials, where the module could represent a stackable credential that amasses and grows to the degree. But we're also talking to some innovative national organizations about how cross universities, different modules could be stacked together to create innovative and exciting learning pathways for students, where they could follow the expertise of tutors in specific modules across universities. So it's a very exciting time to be in this space. But great question.
Do you have a question?
No, congrats on the new contract.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with it.
We'll keep our fingers crossed for the terms to get something.
Right. Thank you, Yaz. Right,
Thank you.
Let's do the same to you as we do everybody else. Wow, we've run through so many so quickly. Next year, maybe 3 minutes for questions would help. I've tried to keep the time good. I've got to say, some amazing things there, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like and quite a range as well. It's quite interesting to see the range. It's been really good. I've not had a chance to thank everyone yet, but if they're all still listening, thank you everyone for presenting. It's quite a challenge now to judge.
Okay, so I'm going to say I wish everybody well. Lazio, if you do have any notes that you want to share, that you're welcome to share something with us. And orally, we will get together and
yeah, I've got a large amount of notes. So
okay, I wish everybody well.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.